evening, YouTube. You guys are now watching another segment of the TheCaliEffect, King of Games, and today for Deck Profile Madness, I'm going to be bringing to you guys a Krawler deck profile. Now, if you guys want to see some awesome deck profiles from the Circuit Break set, you have to comment down below in the comment section on what deck you want to see. The deck has to involve cards from the Circuit Break set. Also, more importantly, you guys need to subscribe to this channel and also hit that notification bell because we just too strong. Without further ado, I present to you guys a Krawler deck profile. Alright guys, starting off with Krawlers is 3 copies of Receptor. This is the most important Krawler of the deck. When it is flip summoned, you get to add 1 Krawler monster from your deck to your hand. All Krawler monsters have the effect of, if they're sent to the graveyard by your opponent's card effect, you can special summon 2 Krawler monsters from your deck. So keep in mind, I'm not going to mention that on every single Krawler monster because they all have that certain effect. This card is really good at recruiting all of your Krawler monsters though, and it's one of the most important cards. 3 copies of Krawler Goliath. I didn't necessarily know the strength of Krawler Goliath until you actually sit down and play the deck. Upon its flip, you get to special summon 1 flip effect monster or 1 Krawler monster from your graveyard or your hand to your side of the field. Now, in your opening game, you're thinking that, hey, this might not be good. But seeing that it special summons Krawler monsters from your hand, it always allows you to keep field presence on your side of the field with a Krawler monster when it's destroyed or attacked by your opponent. Next is 3 copies of Krawler Spine. This is the Man-Eater bug. If you can wind up using this card to continuously flip itself face down and face up, you can keep constant pressure on your opponent, destroying their monsters on their field. 2 copies of Krawler Axon. Now, Krawler Axon is the Lila of the deck. When it's flip summoned, you can destroy 1 spell or trap card on your opponent's side of the field. 1 copy of Krawler Ravener. I feel like Ravener or Ranivir is the worst of the Krawler monsters outside of the other Krawler monster that I didn't mention because it sends monsters from the deck to the graveyard. Like, there's not a single type of synergy that has with the deck. But this card allows you to recurse Krawler monsters from your graveyard inside your hand. It's not a terrible effect. It's just only optimal in your later games. Speaking of that said Krawler monster that sends monsters from the deck to the graveyard, I can't remember its name for the life of me. It actually prompted me to try a Shadow Krawler deck. And we're back to normal Krawlers. It's not good. Next is 3 copies of World Legacy World Armor. Now, this card is good. I'm serious. Like, this card is probably the best card that Krawler has going for it. When you flip summon, you can special summon this to your side of the field and then add 1 World Legacy card from your deck to your hand. So this card is pivotal for getting the most important trap card in your deck to your hand to completely abuse your Krawler monsters. Furthermore, it can banish monsters special summon from the extra deck. It's a pretty good card. 25/25 is your strongest monster in your deck. I hate that it doesn't have Krawler in its name. It's not a machine and doesn't give you other great effects, but you can't argue with its effectiveness and being able to search the most important trap card in the deck. Next is 2 copies of Block Spider. This deck is a really casual deck, so I expect to be playing against casual players. Now, when you special summon 1 Block Spider through the effect of your field spell card, it allows you to special summon the 2nd Block Spider, which creates a field lock. Your opponent can't attack any of your Krawler monsters, which means they're probably forced to destroy your Krawler monsters through other means, which is going to grant you your Krawler monsters effects. I only play 2 because you only need 2. Like, I don't really see a reason to play more than 2. It's literally 0 reason. And then 1 copy of Maxi. This card's actually searchable for Krawlers. All you have to do is keep looking into this deck profile. That's it for the monsters at 18. This deck was, like I said, it was a very fun deck to play. I would not put this deck as a competitive deck, but it still does have its niche into the format. I think that it's extremely fun. Next is 3 copies of World Legacy in the Shadow. Now, this is the most important spell of the deck. So basically, all Krawler monsters gain 300 attack and defense. Ooh, that's awesome. But more importantly, it allows you to special summon a level 2 or lower insect monster from your hand to your side of the field in face up or face down defense position. I really like that it says face up or face down because it allows you to special summon Krawler monsters for a link play. It also allows you to special summon Block Spider from your hand. So it's pretty important that you guys get this card from your deck to your hand. But more importantly, if your opponent battles one of your flip effect monsters, which is another reason that prompted me to play Shadows in here, don't try it. It's just like, literally, you're better off playing like just pure Shadows before you play this. It's too much clunk, alright? It's just terrible. If your opponent battles one of the monsters, it sends that monster to the graveyard, furthermore prompting your opponent that, hey, you're going to have to destroy these crawler monsters with card effects, which is going to allow you to continuously special summon crawler monsters to your side of the field. Next is 3 copy of Verdant Sanctuary. This is another great card. No matter how your crawler monsters are sent to the graveyard, you're going to be able to keep on cycling through crawler monsters, giving you a stream of monsters. This is also how you search Max C. One of your crawler monsters are destroyed, you can add Max C to your hand. 3 copies of Book of Eclipse. I think that this card was really good in this deck because it flips all of your face-up crawler monsters face-up, ready for you to reuse them again. Now, I was going to play Book of Tayu, but I just didn't see any real value of Book of Tayu in this deck, mainly because you set a crawler, you activate Book of Tayu, you gain the crawler's monster's effect, but unfortunately, none of the crawlers are that good to need their effects that fast that World Legacy doesn't do. 2 copies of Wormbait. Now, this card is fairly expensive, so if you guys want to play a budget version of this, I suggest that you play a card like Scapegoat. Scapegoat is probably perfectly fine. But what Wormbait does is give us 2 free tokens, which is for a free Mrs. Radiant play. It's really good for this deck. I really wish it was a lot cheaper, but seeing that I think it was a video game promo, and when it went up, it went up. I just so happened to have it. 2 copies of Instant Fusion. This card is like saucy in here. This is my saucy tech in here. It allows you to special summon 1 fusion monster to your side of the field. People should already know what Cup of Noodles do. And then 1 copy of Book of Moon. Book of Moon's good for flipping your monsters face down. Who would have guessed in a flip effect deck you'd want to flip monsters face down? It's also good for disruption. 1 copy of Terraforming. Now, as you guys heard earlier in the video, I was talking about how important World Legacy, the field spell card, was to search. Now, since we do have World Legacy World Armor, Terraforming isn't that good in here, mainly because we already have a way to search it as well as our other World Legacy card. But even more importantly, I don't want to draw a million Terraformings because you only need the field spell card once. Then 1 copy of Raigeki. I just opted for one of the best cards in the format. That's it for spells. For traps, 3 copies of World Legacy Pawns. This is what makes the deck go. So it allows you to flip I'm sorry, why say your Raveners? It allows you to flip your crawler monsters face up and face down defense position. And all you have to do at the most of a cost is to shuffle a crawler monster from your graveyard to your main deck. So that's just literally that. It's really good. It allows you to continuously recycle your crawler monsters, which is the reason why you don't necessarily need Ravener. It allows you to keep on abusing your crawler monsters to flip them back face down or face up. It's a really good card. And then 2 copies of Solemn Strike, 1 copy of Solemn Warning. I probably will play 3 strikes because this deck is pretty much prone to a lot of monster effects, and it's not necessarily monster effects on the field. It's cards like I want to say Ash Blossom sometimes, it's Ghost Ogres at times. So I probably would go with 3 copies of Solemn Strike, but I'm going to leave it up to you guys between the warnings and the strikes. That's it for the main deck. I'm pretty sure we're at 40. Nice, solid 40, and this deck is really, really fun. 2 copies of Subterra Fiendus. Now, this card is stupid important. It requires 2 flip effect monsters to summon, and is another reason why I decided to try Shaddoll in this deck. I'm seriously, Shaddoll is so good, but this deck is so bad. You'll literally wind up having like 2 Shaddoll monsters, and you'll just want to be playing Shaddolls, or you'll have your crawler monsters, and you won't be able to abuse your Shaddolls. But basically what this card does is it allows you to send 1 flip effect monster from your deck to your graveyard to special summon a flip effect monster from your hand. Now, sending from the deck to the graveyard is exactly what that crawler monster I was telling you guys we didn't need. But this card actually gains utility by allowing us to special summon flip effect monsters from our hand to this card points to. Also, when a monster that this card points to is flip face up, you can also search a flip effect monster from your deck, or I believe, or graveyard to your hand. So this card is extremely important for the strategy, and it's a link to monster with 2 down arrows. 2 copies of Krawler Archetype. I want to make sure that I'm not getting this one confused with the other crawler monster. Crawler monsters this card points to cannot be destroyed by battle. They gain 300 attack and defense. This card can make up to 2 attacks on monsters during each battle phase. If this card is destroyed by battle or leaves the field, it has the same crawler thing except for graveyard. Sathis is really good at just being able to give your monsters an extra presence, but more importantly, it requires just 2 Earth monsters. So this is probably the go-to card if you're going to be using Scapegoat, if not Mrs. Radiant. 2 copies of X-Crawler Neurogos. God, I can't remember this one either. Crawler monsters just cannot be destroyed by battle. This card was like fucking great. But the only unfortunate part about this card is that you needed to already have a monster in your link zone with arrows pointing down before you can summon him, or you're just not going to be doing anything. Excuse me. Krawler monster's card cannot be destroyed by battle, gain 300 attack and defense, and if they battle your opponent's monster, any battle damage they inflict to your opponent becomes double. Basically, it has the exact same effect as special summon crawlers, but from graveyard. This card is, like I said, it's really good, but unfortunately, it doesn't have the arrows pointing down. It has them side to side, so you have to do some fuckboy shit to get them to your side of the field. 2 copies of Mrs. Radiant. Not only does this card give your monsters 500 attack, it allows them, it recurses your crawler monsters from your graveyard to your hand, and it allows them to get over some problematic threats. I mean, your crawler monsters aren't really that intimidating, but when you combine it with Mrs. Radiant, X-Crawler Neurogos, and Neurogos, and X-Crawler Samphis, your monsters are going to be pretty big and hard to get over. Your opponent's going to have to use card effects to destroy them, which is playing right into your game. And then X-Crawler X-Crawler Q, okay, literally. This card is really good. If I remember its effects correctly, it gains effects based on the number of crawler monsters on your side of the field. If you control 2, all monsters you control gain 300 attack and defense. If you control 4, your opponent's card and effects cannot be activated during the battle phase. Not so great. If you control 6, your monsters can attack directly. Now, when I first read this card, I was like, how the fuck can I control 6 crawler monsters? And basically what this deck is saying that if you extra link your opponent out, all your monsters can now attack directly, which is pretty good. It also simplifies that I'm pretty sure we're going to be gaining more crawler monsters, seeing that we don't have multiple arrows to make the 6 crawler monsters just yet. But yeah, it's a pretty good card. Next is 1 copy of Invoked Raging. This was the card that, I was like, God, I gotta play this card. It seems really fun in this deck. Basically, what you do is you instant fusion it to your side of the field, use the effect to flip himself face down. Then on your further turns, you can flip summon them and start using them to flip your crawler monsters face down. Now, this monster is supposed to be this monster is supposed to be Fusionist. I didn't feel like fucking looking for it, okay? But Fusionist is a level 3 monster. That's an Earth monster that allows you to go into your extra link place for like Mrs. Radiant or is it Neurogos or not Neurogos? Samphis. It allows you some pretty racky plays. So this is supposed to be Mrs. Radiant and not Mrs. Radiant. This is supposed to be Fusionist and not Dragoonist. 1 copy of Sky Cavalry Centuria. 1 copy of number 45 Loco Logos, and 1 Daiguster Emerald. Those are your rank 2s that you're going to be going to if you need to make a rank 2 to put pressure on your opponent. Daiguster Phoenix is the game-winning card, can attack twice. Crazy Logo. He's just a crazy-ass card. 2200 attack that negates monster effects. And Sky's Cavalry Centuria can be the card that you need to get over your opponent's threatening monster. Well, thank you guys so much for watching another segment of the Cali Effect. If you want to join an exclusive gang, your boy got Patreon. So go ahead and check out the rewards that you guys can get for hitting up that Patreon. But more importantly, you guys should probably be selling me some damn Yu-Gi-Oh cards because the nigga got all this money. I got racks on racks on racks, and I'm trying to pay you for your Yu-Gi-Oh cards, bro. It's like We Buy Gold commercial, right? Send me your Yu-Gi-Oh cards so I can give you cash. I mean, it's almost like you're ripping me off. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, but most of all, enjoy.